what are those levers or those impact categories that our clients are able to glean out of the benefit of using Gravy and specifically payments orchestration? And I wonder if we kind of just maybe deep dive into what are those impact categories, what are those levers available to our clients?
Absolutely. And I think you can group them in four main categories or four main areas for any business adopting payment orchestration. So again, they all ultimately contribute towards your business profitability, towards your bottom line. So the first one would be around growth. So here we're talking about multiple providers and payment types through one single API integration. And that goes from new acquirers in existing markets to alternative payment methods that will perhaps allow you to target a new demographic, now willing to spend more just because of the availability of that additional alternative payment method, or even target markets where you weren't able to play before because you didn't have the required payment options. India, as an example, as a market with low share of checkout for credit cards. So in plain English, I think what I'm saying here is that orchestration gives you speed to market. Here, we're talking about revenue that your business would be sacrificing if it had to build those connections from scratch. We would be talking about number of weeks, right, before that revenue could come in. But instead, you will be leveraging an orchestrator that already built those connectors and is also taking the burden of maintaining those connectors regularly, given the economies of scale that an orchestrator experiences. The second area I would like to cover here is transaction optimization. And here what we're talking about is a stronger end user experience for your customer. And that happens because you are then reducing the number of declined or failed payments. And that takes the shape of uptime increase, for example, where you now have the availability to route payments between multiple processes. Think along the lines of redundancy that prevents interruptions caused by outages, as an example. And then we are also talking about transaction optimization via elements such as network tokens and account of data, and the uplift you will see in auth rates linked to that. Also think about routing, how now you are able to control 3DS, retries, and even control dynamic retries and the increase of the authorized transactions linked to that. So when it comes to smart routing, for example, and beyond maximizing the auth rates, we can also talk about cost optimization, which takes me to the next big category or area I would like to cover, where your business benefits from cost reduction when it starts working with an orchestrator. And here we're talking about fee optimization, and that goes from debit card routing, open banking, new acquirers, all the way to network tokenized transactions. Whereas an example, you and I know this, in North America, we have seen 10 basis points cost saving per tokenized transaction as per Visa announcement, right? And we expect that to follow in terms of other markets and even MasterCard. So pausing here, because within cost reduction, the next big one when working with an orchestrator is the elimination of in-house costs for additional integrations and that maintenance for those connectors. And here, I'm not necessarily talking about headcount reduction. I'm actually talking about relocation of resources. So if before within your payments team, you had a number of people working on those integrations and maintaining them regularly, now those people can be allocated towards more value add activities within the business, because you have an orchestrator that already has those connectors available and is also absorbing the burden of maintaining them regularly because of the economies of scale that orchestrators generate when it comes to this piece of the puzzle. And then last area where I think payment orchestration is empowering your business is via fraud reduction. And this probably deserves a separate session on its own. But basically, what I'm talking about here is reduction of chargebacks and decrease of false declines. So, to summarize, basically, what I'm saying is when it comes to growth, transaction optimization, cost reduction, and fraud reduction, again, the true benefit of an orchestrator is that it is more than the sum of its parts.